This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean giggling in the background.
Zoe doing it, Frank, not me.
And Zoe Lyons encouraged. Do I have to reach into the back of the car and start? Well, you two trying to drive.
Sorry, Frank.
So you can anyway, that's who's with us this morning. Zoe Lyons. I'll knock your heads together. I don't think people do that with kids anymore, just as well.
Do you know?
Hold it, I've got to do my
tolerate it
business.
anymore.
I've got to do my business. You can text the show at 8 12 15, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, and email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. Okie dokie.
Oh. Morning, everyone.
Morning, Zoe.
Morning.
All the way from Brighton.
Yeah. Left the beach for you guys.
Thanks. Do you live on the beach?
On
You're
the
one of
beach.
those guys.
Under
You're
the
one of those
pier.
guys with bonfire at night during the summer.
With me bongos.
So it's very nearly Emily Dean's birthday. So we did presents. We started the day with gifts.
I mean, my cup runneth over. I like to say...
Well, let's go up a size.
I like to say that I'm not one to make a fuss about my birthday, because I always think it... I like to say...
Oh, you like to say it? Okay.
I don't like to do it.
No.
Because I feel in principle it's a bit GC, isn't it? It's my birthday!
Yeah.
And no one got me anything. But I feel I've trained you all well. And boy, did you deliver this morning.
But I'm glad you haven't gone into the get into about 50. Oh, I don't really do birthdays anymore. Or I'm 21.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, exactly.
no.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into the 21 again thing.
Oh, it's a bit rosé clock that. I've got a T-shirt saying, football, that's all you ever think about. Frank Skinner. That's attributed to because he once said that to me.
Yes, because the producer Sarah and Emily had fantasy league teams, and honestly, I just sat here thinking, why can't we talk about art and Ed Sheeran?
That's saying something if you've out-footballed Frank. That's...
Well,
Honestly, it was a real case of, will you stop just going on about it?
So to have that on a T-shirt...
It's been beautifully embroidered as well. That's not just printed on. That's been crafted.
Yeah, I think Faye, the assistant producer, did that at home on a sampler.
She's sort of medieval member of the team.
Yeah, she bakes.
Yeah.
And embroiders.
Embroiders.
And she loves the tabard.
I think she may weave. She may weave.
Got a bit of wattle and daub down her front.
Can you still get Fruit of the Loom? Do you remember Fruit of the Loom used to be a big brand?
Yeah.
Is that still around?
Since Wattle and Daubs.
Anyway, there's other gifts. They were a great double act. Hello, I'm Wattle.
And I'm daub.
And we are... Okay.
I would actually go and see them.
I see that.
Yeah, Dave Wattle and Mike Daub.
Do you know? I wondered where you were going to go with Daub, but Mike you nailed it.
Because they're always...
Mike
The
Daub.
first names of double acts are always a tremendous disappointment, I think. You think, I wish I'd just known the surnames there.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And it's interestingly because Mikes tend to be Michaels now. Mike, it was very 70s to shorten your name to Mike.
But, Little and Large's a great name, but Sid and Eddie, those blokes. Those blokes who's always in the pub. You know, that one that reads a novel instead of talking to people. Sid. He's all right, but he's very quiet.
That was you, basically, Frank. You were reading the novel.
I couldn't read, I was too drunk.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, the other gift.
Now, this is something special. I hold in my hands... I spoke with the Chancellor of Germany this morning. I have a blush pink leather dog poo bag carrier engraved in gold with TCB, which stands for, Frank Skinner?
Taking care of business.
I I mean, how brilliant is that?
It's perfect. I just think someone now will commercially produce those because
They are
taking care of
amazing.
business, poo bag
Because of
holder.
all those people who are obsessed by Elvis, blush pink, and dog poo.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you've gone dog lovers and Elvis fans, you've covered a great part of the planet. So yeah, it is. It's a great gift, and that again emanates from the show. I don't know quite how, but I think even last week it was mentioned, and now it exists.
It's a beautiful thing.
I love that.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So I've been gigging this week at 21 Soho. You ever played there?
I
Zoe?
haven't. I'm familiar. I'm aware of the venue, but I haven't played it yet.
It's very spick and span.
Is it?
Yeah. Apparently it was.
Spick and span. I don't really hear that outside of the musical Annie.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Spick and we're Span. Yeah. Ken Spick and Alan Span. No, it got done, apparently. It got done on one of those makeover programs.
Oh, really?
And they got a free refurb.
Oh, that's quite
That's always
clever.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, they turned like sort of a shoddy old space and like, what were you thinking? We're like, well, sort of a cutting edge sort of
So it is quite-
theatrical creative space.
Yeah, and it is. And there's like a... Yeah, it's lovely. When you walk down to the dressing room, the other day, you go downstairs into the dressing room and you go like through a little lounge where they have spoken word events, and you could watch Wimbledon on this occasion.
Very
And
jolly.
then through to my dressing room, which is actually the podcast studio.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Double top.
yeah.
You must have been in some dodgy dressing rooms in your time.
I certainly have, and
but I
done
can't
dodgy
believe you actually
things
said
in them.
that. Oh,
No, but yeah,
God.
strangest one, and I hope I don't disappear during the week having said this, but there used to be one in Battersea that was in a Masonic hall. That was the dressing room, and it had all these things, like it had a coffin in it with a padlock on. You know, there's a lot of trust.
Wow.
There's a lot, you don't normally need them
No,
on
you
coffins.
don't. Normally,
but,
nobody's coming out or
no,
in.
not generally. But what could be in Birkenhair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great double act.
Yeah, true. But they actually
Dennis Burt.
executed on the same day, Birkenhair, because they were worried if they didn't that they'd keep digging each other up. They weren't executed. Don't text in and say they weren't executed on the same day. It was a jape.
He's doing his Birkenhair material.
Yeah, you know the Birkenhair. But I'll be glad of that in
Topical.
Edinburgh. No, but in Edinburgh, local material.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the 21 Soho, we've actually had someone. I don't think I can read this out because Frank doesn't like to praise. He likes it.
I like praise, but I don't like
No.
I don't want to read it out in public.
You
as
want
if
it read
look,
to
look
you.
at me.
He doesn't like indulgence.
Look at me. Look at me. See, if I was a professional DJ, I'd play Look at Me by Jerry Halliwell now. I know she's not called Jerry Halliwell now, but she was then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to preempt all the texts of saying, yeah, well, you got that wrong, actually, because she... Yeah, okay.
But Rachel has. Can I say she very much enjoyed watching you at 21 Soho, and she might have put a hashtag National Treasure in there.
Okay. Well, I had one of the things that happened. Someone was in the front row with... well, I'll make this into a cliffhanger. Something I've never seen anyone in the audience holding before.
Oh God!
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So yes, there
with
was
you.
a woman in the front row, and I thought she was holding a bolster.
Oh, what?
You know, a bolster. You know those circular pillows,
Oh
or
yeah.
tubular.
Tubular. What, to prop you up in bed?
Do you remember that Mike Oldfield less successful
Tubular-
sequel?
tubular
pillows. It was quite a muted sound
Muffled.
on it.
Yeah. We like tubular, just not pillows.
The bolster pillow is. I see it very much in the bracket of the bed jacket, Frank.
Do you?
Yeah, do you not?
Well, I only recently found out what a bolster pillow was for. Zoe's looking at me in like I've never seen a bolster pillow.
Aren't they called a Dutch wife?
No, that's something else.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
I think that's something else in the bedroom.
Okay. Well, the idea of
This
them
is really awkward.
completely wrong, haven't I?
Frank,
Oh, man.
Can you deal with this?
Yeah, well, I'm moving on. That's how I'm handling it. No, the bolster. You know when you bolster someone, you bolster support and stuff like that. Means you sort of you add and the idea with a bolster pillow. I'm going to have to Google this.
Don't do that at home.
No.
Can I suggest you don't do that?
Okay.
When Kath's looking at your history.
Okay. Okay. So it goes under pillows if you want to sit up in bed. It's to bolster your pillows.
Which is basically just get another pillow.
I know, but it's good to have the tubular pillow. So anyway, it wasn't a bolster.
Oh.
It was a dachshund.
A dog?
Yeah.
In the audience?
Yeah, on the front row.
And I'm guessing not a guide dog.
Do they have guide sausage dogs?
I wouldn't think so.
Imagine if they live in a place with very narrow alleys.
I like the
Be
way...
like a sort of torpedo guide dog for really, really speedy underwater movement.
People who like ferreting.
Yeah, exactly. The trouble is with that is that they would the sausage dog would go through a narrow space and you wouldn't be able to follow them.
Yeah,
You know, like the cat whisker argument. The cat's whiskers are to measure whether they can get through the gap.
I have a theory that's why women my age grow whiskers as we get older. As the eyesight goes, the chin hair grows, and then you can feel your way through doorways.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that footballers in the 70s used to have comb overs so that when they blew, they could tell whether they would get through a gap between two defenders.
Yeah.
You see, that's one thing I really miss, is the footballer with the comb over.
Well, the comb over itself has virtually disappeared.
It's such a shame.
Yeah.
I only ever see it now amongst the autograph community.
My headmaster at school used to have, that's true. My headmaster at school had a
And
massive
the
comb over.
incredibly over-recycled carrier bag to the point where the original design has crinkled away. Yeah. But the comb over is still popular. I've put a few back in place just while mid-chat without even thinking about it.
Can we just go back briefly to Frank's pronunciation? Can you say the name of the dog again?
The dachshund. Is that wrong?
Duschhund.
Oh.
Why do you say it?
Sausage dog.
I liked No, it just felt very Germanic. I enjoyed it.
Well, it's a German dog, of course, which is hence.
Meaning, do you know what it translates
Yes.
as literally? Oh,
Yes.
Frank, lovely.
I think it's badger dog, isn't it? Yes.
Correct.
Because they often used to wear like 7 or 8 badges, like again popular amongst the autograph community.
Well, I would have said it's similar to you, but when I had Rob Beckett on my podcast, he said dachshund. He said it was dachshund.
Yeah, well, I often go to him for my foreign pronunciations.
For
Yeah,
dog naming.
yeah. I mean, he's last comedian you'd phone for a foreign pronunciation list. He'd be on there, I think. Yeah, dachshund. Yeah. Well, I think it's dachshund. Hunt, I'm common with.
Hund,
Because here is lumpy ist mein Hund. Was
I'm sorry
one
to
of,
hear that.
One of the first, myxomatosis, which dogs don't normally get. Well, when I learnt German at school, that was one of the first ever slides that we had. Was here is lumpy ist mein Hund. Here's lumpy is my dog.
Did it come in handy on visits to Germany?
It did, actually. I had to, obviously, it meant that my dog had to travel under a false name.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
When you mention the fact that the dachshund is German, do you remember during, I think it was possibly the early stages of one of those invasions that the Americans and the British did with Bush and Blair, and the French wouldn't send any troops, and in America there was a protest, so they wouldn't call French fries anymore. Do you remember what they called them?
Freedom fries.
Yeah, and also Liberty fries was one of the things they got called. And in World War One, the Dachshund, because it was a German dog, once America went into the war, they called them Liberty Hounds.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
The Liberty Hound.
Because they wouldn't say the German word. Yeah. Oh, that's all my. I think that's all my Dachshund.
They could have just stuck with sausage dog.
They do. I think they call them Wiener Hounds.
Wiener Hound.
Yeah.
Wiener Hound.
Another one. I had very good.
Thank you.
Blondie.
Do you know, funnily enough, I was watching a programme, it was on Early Doors this morning. I've never seen this before. It was called Dogs
You
with...
watched the programme on Early Doors. Was it medieval cathedral entrances?
It was about tabards.
Series.
Watland Door Patch.
I'm going to do that. Medieval cathedral entrances. Early Doors with Frank Skinner. Yeah, look at the hinges on that. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Hinge and Bracket could be on it. What were their first names?
So this... Daphne...
No, I think it was Dame Evadne Hinge and Hilda Bracket.
Hilda Bracket, yes.
Come on, that is impressive. So I was watching, it was one of the 6:30 a.m.s, you know, and it was something like, it was called Dogs with Extraordinary Jobs. And I thought, oh, this will be good.
What, accountancy?
Well, I was hoping for architect, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Or maybe orthodontist, something a bit...
I got let down like this the first time I tuned into Animal Hospital. I thought it'd be like Alsatians with scalpels, gaffer tape to their paws, doing minor operations.
With those white clogs.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing.
Dalmatian pushing a trolley past.
Oh, Pomeranian on the reception, I imagine. Yeah, do you know
Did you hear the
Frank?
Pomeranian scandal this week?
No.
There's a somewhere. I think it's on somewhere in East England, which is a phrase you don't hear that often. Someone sold a bunch of Pomeranians, Pomeranian puppies, on the internet.
Pomeranian Poodle Pub.
Yeah, you know Pomeranians, they're tiny little fluffy dogs.
Yeah.
And then none of them developed quite as they expected, and they turned out to be guinea pigs.
Oh, wow.
It was a scam.
Oh.
I know that.
Do you think that's Ray is one of those, maybe?
Your dog's a guinea pig. My dog's a guinea pig.
It's like the man on my street who I think he thought he bought a pygmy pig. One of those little pigs.
What was he?
It was a massive pig. It was just a baby pig. It was just a baby pig that grew into a massive pig, and he lived on the second floor.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
No, imagine that day when you decide I'm going to have to slaughter.
Fine.
No, you're hoping for a pet and you ended up getting a larder full.
Yeah.
That's an awful moment.
The Dogs with Extraordinary Jobs.
Hold on, we have to make this a cliffhanger. I'm looking very, very much forward to what the extraordinary jobs are, but we'll see.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So anyway, the dogs with jobs, is that what it was called?
Dogs with Extraordinary Jobs.
Okay. I hope this is not going to be a documentary about poo. That'd be a really misleading title, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah, that one's got a mouse skull in it.
Or maybe a dog owned by the love child of Steve Jobs with the first name Extraordinary.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed.
Oh.
I mean, what were you hoping for, Frank? Alsatian anaesthetists or something?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I don't know about that. That would be really worrying.
I was thinking accountants or maybe solicitors.
Imagine you were going in for an operation, Alsatian.
Is it going to be like the ones that do the sniffing at festivals?
Airports,
Airport. I once saw a sniffer dog. I don't know if it's doing it on purpose, but it was walking on the baggage carousel and not moving. It's like it was moonwalking. And it made me think I need never take the dog for a walk again. I can just put it on the
Just buy a massive luggage carousel for your living room.
No, you can have one of those treadmills at home
I've never thought of that. Maybe have you ever done that with your dog? Just get a treadmill. We're all dog owners.
Or get a chihuahua and take it to Yo Sushi and just watch it walk around that.
I tried it, but the dog worked out that it could do that itchy bum thing on it without having to pull itself along. And then, I didn't want... Once it had got a go faster stripe on the treadmill.
You can't retain any dignity once a dog does that, does it?
No.
Really?
No.
Watch me.
Come on, what are their extraordinary jobs?
They're not, I mean, I'm sure I think they should rebrand this, rename it Dogs with Quite Helpful Jobs.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I tune into that. Has there ever been a TV show with the word quite in the title?
No, because we're not far off that.
No, because I'm not a commissioning editor. But when I am, I'd like...
8, 12, 15 is a TV show title with quite in it.
It's great texted. Dogs with Quite Helpful Jobs. It's things like herding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when the herd moves, it moves fast.
So there were things like sniffing out endangered species.
Sniffing out endangered species?
I don't know if I'd trust a dog with that job. Oh, yeah, there's only 3. 2 of those left.
Drop it! Drop it!
Drop it!
Drop it!
Drop the dodo.
Drop the dodo would be...
Great band.
That'd be a good game as well, wouldn't it?
There were rescue dogs. Again, quite helpful.
Yeah.
Not very extraordinary.
That's not extraordinary. Unless,
Do you
of
mean
course,
rescue
they're on
dogs?
motorbikes.
Do you mean from dog rescue things or dogs that rescue?
Dogs that rescue.
Oh, dog. Yeah, I'm thinking St Bernard with small barrel of rum fitted to the front of
With
the car.
brandy.
Brandy.
I don't know
Brandy,
if they
was
have
it?
the brandy anymore, do
No.
they?
Did they ever?
Well, I think they probably did once, but I don't think they're allowed
Well, so you
anymore.
could have in an avalanche situation as a brandy.
Is that
that
right?
right?
Well, it opens up the blood vessels and you cool down even more.
How the hell
And
do
then
you
you
know
have to
that?
Yes, I remember reading this in your book,
Yes.
the Killer St Bernards.
Yeah. Night of the Killer St Bernards. Yeah.
So the dogs are there deliberately...
Just knocking you off. Just getting,
that's-
yeah.
Oh, man, that is an unusual job, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose that it's for years of dogs being put out of their misery by humans, they're getting their own back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Stealth.
there are things like there's the Newfoundland named Reef who was teaching a German Shepherd water rescue. It was
What,
things
dogs
like that.
teaching
They were
dogs?
teaching it, yeah.
Which is on the side of a pool with a whistle and some Speedos. Like that.
Wow, the blind leading the blind.
And they had things, search and rescue border collies. Because they really are quite helpful.
I've got a Jack Russell. I don't know what he'd do for a job. Probably sell stuff
Big
down
wow,
the
I've got a
market.
Dutch wife.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and Zoe Lyons is with us today. Please text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
You asked our readers, our lovely readers, to send in any TV shows they could think of with "quite" in the title.
Oh, yes.
And that was following, we were talking about extraordinary dogs.
Quite interesting dogs.
And I said they were what they were.
Dogs with extraordinary jobs.
Dogs with extraordinary jobs. And I said it should be called dogs that are quite helpful.
Yes.
So we have Snooky 100. I mean, I think a lot of our readers are reaching, but, you know, this is why we love them.
Yes.
Dr. Quite Medicine Woman.
Wow.
I like Snooky.
Yeah.
Juan Lyle.
Dr. Quite would have been a very nuanced version of Dr. No, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Not negative, but a little bit reticent. That's how I find him. Or,
Juan Lyle
yeah.
says, credit where it's due, dogs sniffing out tiger or blue whale would both be unusual and highly impressive and dangerous. So that was a dog-related one. But then we have Darren McKay.
They don't have dogs working as comedy critics, do they? That
Well, unless that dachshund in your
exactly.
audience.
That's what I'm thinking.
Did he have a tiny notepad?
He had one of those, you know, those pens that light up when you write with them.
Yeah.
I've seen those on
I'd worry.
critics before.
Yeah.
Oh.
And red wine mouth, maybe. I've seen those on Critics before. Darren McKay, Quatermass, but only in Wolverhampton.
Quatermass. That's when people used to say, kipper ties, those big broad ties.
Fat tie at the
But they also or someone ordering a drink in Birmingham. Could I have a kipper tie, please?
But
Doesn't quite get it. They never quite work.
The one that we keep getting through, and a number of our readers have sent in, is people are asking, does QI count? Of course. Because it does stand for...
Oh, it stands for quite interesting, doesn't it?
So
but it's
totally
interesting. It's almost like... It is quite interesting that someone at the QI thing in the early days must have thought, we can't have quite in the title because that's never happened. And somebody said, what about Dr. Quite Medicine? Well, they go, no, I think you'll find that's wrong. So they didn't go quite. Yeah. Maybe there is no actual TV pro with quite in there.
And Hopkins, one of our regulars.
Hopkins?
He's been in touch to say, with regards to working dogs, brackets sounds like a Philip Larkin poem, a mate of mine rehomed a retired police dog, and I had visions of an Alsatian turning up driving a Rover 214 with a set of golf clubs.
I like that it's driving a Rover. We used to have to separate them with a broom in my days.
Oh, do you remember? The Rover was the police car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Do you remember the Rover? Do you remember Zoe?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I remember the Panda car.
Oh, yeah.
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 I loved a Rover. That used to
very
be...
rare now, the Panda cars.
Very, very rare.
Get a few in China in captivity.
Just rolling about.
Well, everyone's sort of got the same car now, but those were the days when your car was a real statement, wasn't it? So if you drove a Daimler, that said a lot.
What about when you see like just an ordinary car and suddenly blue lights come on it? Ever seen that?
Yes.
They suddenly transform into
You get the little blue lights right at the front, right in the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the undercover police?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so, yeah. Otherwise, someone slightly badly designed one of those stretch limos for hen parties where the lights will be on the inside.
Or the LED lighting underneath. I never fully understood those.
Well, yeah. Fun. That's the answer to that.
So what did turn up with the retired police car? It was an Alsatian.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
He's just said that's the extent of his. I don't have any further information at this stage.
Is it just Alsatians that work for the police, or do they have?
It's just Alsatian.
They have undercover poodles.
Yeah. Do they have undercover poodle? I'd love that.
Undercover poodles that just hang around, you know, in the rougher dog areas, and no one's got any idea. And then suddenly they whip out their ID. I hate it when they do that.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, that was the Queen's Head with Your God Owes You Money. Oh, speaking of, I should do a couple of thank yous while we have this. Robin Haley sent me some pants through the post.
Pants?
Oh, can you keep your private life out of the show, please?
I wanted to send this last Christmas, open brackets, tune, but didn't. Saw your little gig at 21 Soho on Monday, went to give it to you then, but you were too interested in your Doctor Who dolls. Someone gave me, I don't call them dolls, they gave me some...
Figurines.
Yes, some action-type figures from the 19...
That sounds much more acceptable and macho. Figurines.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who figurines.
From the 1964 serial The Censorites, if you're interested.
Not really.
Okay.
Zoe, we're going to get along.
Okay, good.
And also, while I'm on it, Chris Q, as in The Gardens... sent you and I actually, Emily, some bin stickers, all of which are puns on the word bin. So I've got like Jeremy Corbyn spelt B-I-N.
Okay.
And for you, he's gone for Bindi Crawford.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy that.
And you stick them
I
on
think
your
it's
bins
okay.
to make them distinctive.
It's not a little problematic, is it? I think it's okay.
What? But I think it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's all right.
Is that to stop your neighbours nicking your bins?
I think it's for that. You know that moment when the bins have been left on the pavement, they're all
Just bin
gathered
confusion.
together.
I'm
Exactly.
just glad he's avoided the obvious on the bin front, because I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that.
Well, I think his most
You know what I mean?
inventive one is that my son is a massive Alice Cooper fan, and he obviously thought, well, I want to include that. And he has really pushed it, and he's gone for Vincent Fernier, which is Alice's real name is Vincent Fernier.
Wow.
So that's
Niche.
extra effort. That's the
That's
extra
niche.
mile.
Metal bin sticker talk.
Yes.
Alan Del Monte.
Okay.
Okay. You don't hear a lot about him anymore, do you?
No. He was
Not
a
since
very
the last
positive
album.
character.
He was huge in the 80s.
He was, yeah. I wonder if he ever met Dr. No.
Did we establish? I mean, we should say for younger readers, Frank. Do you want to explain who we're talking about with Del Monte?
Well, there used to be popular canned fruit. The company was called Del Monte, and the man from Del Monte, never quite clear whether he owned Del Monte or whether he was some sort of travelling rep.
What was his
I
role?
always felt like he was a rep. Like
Well,
he was just sort of wandering around other people's orchards,
I
just
thought
nicking
he
their
was the owner,
pineapples.
because I tell you, he had a Panama hat. Did he? I think.
No, you're thinking of Michael Morpurgo.
No, he loved a Panama. Because,
Yeah, well, he probably was from Panama, so it's sort of.
Well, do you want
okay.
to finish the story?
Anyway, he would turn up at a plantation.
In the ad, this was Del
Yeah,
Monte.
and it might be like an orange grove. And he would try a few oranges. And obviously this is, for the people who ran the grove...
Big day.
Yeah, they looked like low-income families who this was quite a big decision whether they were going to get this massive contract.
Yeah.
And he would smile and
Yeah.
nod, and someone would say, the man from Del Monte, he say yes. Yeah.
Oh.
They would be Spanish, native
And then
Spanish
for
speakers.
several years, I don't know, my mother certainly continued using that catchphrase, I'm afraid, well beyond its sell-by date. I mean, up until probably the 2000s.
I think my family used those tin fruit well beyond
Yeah.
their sell-by
They
date.
never go off. They last to infinity and beyond, don't they? Tinned fruit.
What's that Australian film, Welcome to Wom Wom, or something like that, about a tin fruit plantation? This isn't radio, is it? It's conversation.
No, you're
Just
right.
conversation. We'll come back to all this.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We've had some news, rather sad news. We were discussing the man from Del Monte.
Yes, we were just explaining that his basic role was to decide on fruit
Yeah.
orchards and whether they were good or bad. And the big thing was the man from Del Monte, him say yes. He say yes.
He say yes.
Roy Rockcliffe and several other people, but Roy Rockcliffe has got in touch to say the man from Del Monte died, I think it might have been yesterday, age 91. He was from Bolton. And he
Hold it, he was from Bolton.
Yeah.
You know what? I know this is makes me something of a naive.
You thought he was from Ecuador or...
Yeah, I'm in the Michael Caine mould. Remember
Yeah.
Michael Caine saw a coffee advert, fell in love with the woman, spoke to his agent and said, I'm obsessed with this woman. Do you have any contacts in Brazil? And he said, I think she lives in Hendon.
Yeah. That's what I had with the Churchill dog. It turned out he's all posh and from Knightsbridge. I thought he was going to be a lovely, down-to-earth dog.
That's awful.
Man from Del Monte.
Ew.
Respect.
Yes. Yeah.
I've heard that a few times.
Yeah.
He... just a few credits, in case you're interested. He made film appearances in Carry On Sergeant.
Okay, with William Hartnell, actually the first Doctor, who I was given an action figure of on Monday night. It's
Are
a
we
fabulous.
back to that?
Zoe, we're always back to that. Revenge of the Pink Panther,
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
and The Heroes of Telemark. And-
Which I love that film.
Which
The
my
Heroes of
mother's
Telemark.
boyfriend is in that film.
You see, that's incredible.
Not
It's,
really.
Yeah, it's set in Norway during the Second World War, and Kirk Douglas, isn't it?
Yeah, it's based on the Norwegian heroes who
I
tried to
don't know
defeat
it.
the Nazis.
But the reason I love it
I'm
is
afraid my mother's boyfriend, I'm afraid he was on the wrong side, but
Well, it's acting.
yeah.
it's acting in it.
Yeah.
There's some of the jumpers in that film. The sweaters are exceptional.
Have you got mixed up with the heroes of Primark?
Possibly.
The Heroes of
Possibly.
Walmart.
Yeah, one of those low-budget movies.
You have to flick through till you find something in the right size. Oh, I know. The Heroes of it's
I don't
Yeah.
know it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Kirk
really...
Was it
Douglas
one
in
of
a
the,
little jumper, and he's got a little knapsack on, and it's really iconic.
You'd love it, Frank. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it hasn't... I mean, it's on pretty much every Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it really? I sort of have it as a vague memory, but don't know anything about it.
He also was in The Avengers, The Persuaders, Zed Carlson Casualty, Natch.
Top man.
Yeah.
It says here as well that the man from Del Monte, he filmed 25 commercials shown in 32 countries. That's a big contract, isn't it? That's a lot. That's nice. That's all I'm saying is, if you're the man from Del Monte and they go, there's going to be 25 of these, you're like, sweet.
And
Well,
do
I'll
you
tell
think
you what you're going to say, Zoe, when you see that.
You're going to
Yeah.
say
You're gonna say, that's what Del Monte said when they put the phone down from his agent.
yeah. You say yes.
Yeah, well, good on him. That's,
What an amazing
that's
career.
That's a good. I should think Gary Lineker's beaten that on the crisp ads. Would
More
you
than
have thought?
20. Yeah, there's quite a few crisp ads out
I'm
there.
guessing he says yes.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
There's a lot of shuffling of paper. It's like
Trevor news in here,
It's
isn't
that
it?
Trevor McDonald's just come into the studio with some
Well,
news.
thank you.
Breaking news.
Breaking
Tremendous.
news. Breaking news. As we know, summer is here. And time to crack open an alternative wardrobe. I think I've been wearing my shorts since April.
Right, I like people who make summer happen.
Yeah, I've been wearing my shorts since April.
You've gone combat today, though, on the
I've
top,
gone
which I
khaki.
like.
I'm surprised you can see me over here because I'm wearing quite a lot of camo. But this is very Brighton, you see. This is allowed. Women of my age are allowed to wear. I mean, I came here on my skateboard because I live in Brighton. That's allowed. But I was reading about Jerry Horner, formerly Jerry Halliwell,
Oh yes.
and apparently now she only wears white. That she's cut out all the confusion, all the choices, all the daily decisions, and just has a wardrobe made up of predominantly white, and I'm going to say cream.
Oh, I didn't know she
Off-white.
lapsed into
She
cream.
lapsed into cream. Like,
Yeah.
I
We've all
think
done
full
it.
fat cream as well, not sort of an Oatly cream, like a proper full fat cream.
Right, okay.
And
I
white.
can't believe that Jerry Horner does a full fat anything.
No, but that's it. And then
She doesn't fear a gold button, though.
she'll accessorise with a button.
Oh, she will.
I tell you what, when I read this, I thought, oh, showbiz. Because I thought this was the most famous person, one of the most famous people on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
She has worn only white clothes since 2019.
Yeah.
And nobody's noticed until this week. That's hard.
Because it's a big statement, isn't
It is.
it?
You would think people would have picked up, but no one has noticed.
If you started dressing like a Zen monk over a decade ago,
Well, I
and
could
nobody's
do it. I could do it till year zero now, and no one would
No.
notice it with me. But I mean, she was, enormous.
I think the problem is that white, it's meant to symbolise all these wonderful things like, purity and innocence. I do associate it with the corrupt cult leader Netflix documentary. They do favour a white robe.
They
those
do.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the PR
And
is
Yarny. You know Yarny, the new age musician. Have you ever seen him?
Is it Yanni?
I
Is it
think it's. I think is it Yanni?
I believe it's. I don't know. I think.
Oh, it's Yarny in our house. When we chant
When
his
you're
name,
chanting together.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for the Netflix live gig to kick in. You know that bit where it's when it's buffering. Yarny, then he comes on. bit of wail backing singers.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'd be worried about someone who wore white all the time unless they were heavily involved in Test cricket.
Do you know, when I read this, it actually made me physically stressed. I felt anxious about it. All white?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm clumsy.
It's a stress fest wearing white, isn't
I'm
it? I almost never.
She's basically embraced the life of the Roman citizen, really.
Like a toga party gone too far.
I'd like to go to one of those.
A toga party?
Yeah, because I'm not clear, perhaps one of our readers knows, but I understood that a lot of the time we assume that Romans wore all white because actually we're basing it on statues.
Yes.
And there were pops of colour, particularly for the magistrates.
Pops of colour.
This idea that they just wore...
Oh, Sis, I love what you've done. Do you like it? Is it popping? Is it popping? It's my laurel that's popping. That's my laurel popped.
Caesar, what about a pop of cerise?
A pop of cerise. They must have just called toga parties back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you wore a toga, Frank, what shade would you go? I see you in a burgundy.
Oh, I don't know about a burgundy.
Why not?
Burgundy?
I don't know if I can... I don't want it to sort of clash with my veins.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
There's an irony to this. Jerry Halliwell only ever wears white. And we were talking about... I agree with you, Zoe. I rarely wear it because I always think I'm going to get something on it.
Yeah. Instantly.
She bought me... Many years ago, she bought me 3 pairs of white boxer shorts.
Jerry did?
Jerry did, yeah.
No way.
And,
Did you stayed over, or...?
That's a treble stress fest, white boxers.
What the hell was going on?
I couldn't look my cleaner in the eye for months. That's why she left me for Daniel Craig. Did you know that, Zoe?
Your cleaner left you for Daniel Craig?
She did. She swapped Calvins for Speedos.
Wow.
But anyway, so I think one of those pairs of boxers still survives, the Jerry box.
The Jerry
hang on.
boxes.
I passed on some pants. No easy way of saying this. Some pants that David Gandy had given me for you.
Yeah, they're very. I'm still working my way through them. Do you wear the
Gandy pants?
I do. I've virtually worn them out.
Oh wow! I work very visually, and that's going to stay with me for a while.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll stay with all of us.
Yeah.
Love.
Well, I work very musically, and all I can think is, what's going to cover that though, Frank? The Gandy pants can. Oh, the Gandy pants can.
Oh, we love Gandy.
Yes.
So
David Gandy, we're on about.
Yeah,
I mean, we love all the Gandys, but,
David Gandy's lovely.
but he's a prominent.
I would
pants.
imagine if you'd got pants off Mahatma Gandhi, they'd be slightly baggier.
Yeah, they would be. Yeah. And also, they'd be straight on eBay, to be honest with you.
Mahatma Gandhi pants.
Whereas David Gandy's was straight on eBay.
Yeah.
So...
I need a noise of some sort for that. That was so good. A horn or a...
Hold on.
Something.
I have it.
That sounds like outside number 10 this week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Yeah. Can I say, by the way, and we don't really do political comment on this show, but if you're the Prime Minister and you're going to make a major speech, get a nice lectern.
Yes.
Don't get one that looks like it's from some terrible corporate gig in Northamptonshire 4-star hotel.
It's got like laminate on it or something.
It's one of those you can put it. You can put your fist through it. It's one of those that's just got like brown sticky on it. I mean, it's a Prime Minister. I want one of those oak eagle wings.
You'd want solid wood.
I mean,
You'd want a solid wood.
Yeah.
No, he might.
And that's a sentence I don't often say.
No.
But I would want something of structure.
He had got the nastiest honestly, if I had to write a list of nasty lecterns, you might as well have had one of those see-through plastic lecterns that people have on their mopeds when they're doing the knowledge. You know those ones with a map on it?
I tell you what
And
you
a
might have
clipboard.
had. No, but so specifically a very cheap royal blue clipboard.
Yeah.
You know those ones?
That
Yeah.
would have
If you're
been
doing
better.
a driving awareness test or something.
That would have been better. I was thinking, don't lean on that.
It's going to go.
Boris. It's got
That would be
flimsy.
perfect. If he'd just go and go, good afternoon, and lent on it, and the whole thing would just fall
Imagine if
over.
he was saying, no, is that the only lectern we've got? That thing.
Yeah, but if it had blown over,
Yeah.
can you imagine that to the strains of...
They should have had that lettering. You know that black on gold lettering that people stick on that's slightly angled? You know that really the worst lettering ever? They should have had that on the front with Prime Minister on it.
Is that the leaving lectern, though? Is there a better one when you're
No,
arriving?
I just think they've got one rubbish lectern in that sort of historical home. For goodness sake. Lectern hell. That's what I'm calling this week.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Zoe Lyons. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. We discusseth the former Ginger Spice, as she was
All right,
known.
Chaucer.
Yeah.
And her very white wardrobe.
A very white wardrobe. I remember hearing a story about the great Terence Dicks. You know Terence Dicks?
No.
He was quite a major writer stroke script editor on Doctor Who.
Oh, right.
And
Oh,
his
for
publisher,
God's sake.
he wrote many books. His publisher said that she went to
All out
for
of
lunch. They're not all out of print, actually.
Well, they are. You can get 2 dirty copies on eBay.
No, that is not true. His Target books are to continue to sell. Nevertheless,
I mean, that's a desperate man. His Target books continue to
will you
sell.
let me tell
Sorry.
it? So his publisher, I met his publisher, and she said, I took Terence out for lunch, as publishers do. And she said he had a white polo neck sweater on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's, instantly my armpits
Yeah,
have started to sweat
exactly.
with anxiety.
But that's peak 70s, man.
With like a black jacket. And then, anyway, she knocked a glass of red wine over and it went over the thing. And she went, oh, my God, Terence, I'm sorry, that's the worst possible thing.
And what did he
And he
say?
said, I'll sort it out. And he went off to the toilet and then came back and it had all gone.
What does he do?
And she said, how did you do that? He said, I turned it round.
That's why you wear a polo neck.
Yeah.
It's a rotatory top.
It's perfect, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm now rethinking my wardrobe with
Are you?
pale polo necks. Yeah, you can just spin the whole thing round.
Yeah, I mean,
brilliant.
why
And
did
it
they
still looks like a horrible white polo neck.
Well, he wore it well. Little old-fashioned, but why did they do that thing with T-shirts where they're slightly lower at the front? You know, they're just stopping you from rotating because they want you to get a new T-shirt.
The polo neck is very associated. I mean, I do associate it with the sort of sci-fi villain, really, particularly white.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
very future. Frank, what was that thing you made me watch recently? And I was crying with
Space
laughter.
1999. Yeah, there's a lot of white. There's a lot of white and a lot of polo
There's a
neck.
lot of VPL.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's got white. I've never turned anything on, Zoe. If anyone wants a good laugh, turn on this show that Frank likes.
Space what? I'm writing it
Space
down.
1999.
Space
quick pricey,
1999.
Frank.
Right.
Well, it's a sci-fi. But you know Jerry Anderson, who made all the Thunderbirds and that? It was when he sort of went live action.
Okay.
And I tell you, there was a strange thing in it, is there was a children's pop presenter called Aisha Broth. Very beautiful young woman who I had a big crush on when I was a child. And she used to wear a big silver A
Yeah.
pendant, A for Aisha.
Right.
And she was one of those, sci-fi girls used to get in the... I was watching an original Star Trek the other day, and there was a whole conversation done with 3 scantily clad women just standing in the background like scenery. Different times. We didn't know.
Different times.
We didn't know.
Different times.
Anyway, Aisha Broff in Space 1999. I hope I've got this right, because the most unforgiving audience of all is the sci-fi. If it's UFO, I'm in big trouble. I'm suddenly thinking, no, it's UFO, Frank, it's UFO. Anyway, carry on. And she wore the A pendant in the drama over the top of her space uniform.
So unprofessional.
I mean, you can't do that.
I mean, what are you going to do if you're in the RSC or something? No, I'm sorry, I have to wear the A.
Yeah,
I'd wear it. Yeah,
Would you?
I'd totally wear it. Yeah,
No, you can't.
I'd take it over.
Unacceptable.
But would you wear a Lurex pantsuit with a belt?
You know me.
Why are you pretending that isn't what she's wearing at the moment?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what, the Jerry, just to round off this Jerry Halliwell thing, it reminded me of some really out-of-date advice I was given. It's out of date now. A driver who I used to have regularly said to me, never start a relationship in the summer because everybody looks good with a tan. And the reason the Jerry thinks, I reminded, if you got a tan on holiday, you would always wear white when you went back to work.
To
or wherever.
accentuate.
Yeah.
Oh, but I told you I can't bear that. It's people at arrivals in white and flip-flops. And
A white
hat.
capri cut trouser.
Oh, come on. Have some self-respect.
But the idea now that people only have tans in the summer seems like an alien concept indeed.
When you're out in the fields working, that's where you get your tan.
So now I suppose you could have to modify that to don't have a relationship because everybody looks good.
Yeah.
The tan.
That's it.
Frank, do you have a white man from Del Monte suit?
I don't. I have a cream suit that I have worn for Test cricket
Of course you
watching.
Yes.
You see, if you were only allowed one colour, like if you're going to go for one colour in the wardrobe, what would you go for? You can only wear one colour all year round.
Don't even have to think about it.
Go on.
Frank Skinner for
Be
you.
green for me.
Green.
Yeah.
Green. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, I first of all, I like to coordinate with my teeth. But also, I just love green. If anyone asks me any
Green?
question about colour, like my partner this week said to me, we're getting like a new thing in the front room, and she said, they're suggesting grey. I'm thinking white. What do you think? I said green, and I think we might go for that.
Great.
It's a lawn. It's a small lawn.
I mean, you
Yeah, I was going to say.
You say great. It depends on a fireplace or...
No, it's the area above the fireplace and behind the telly, if you really want to know. You know that sort of square above the fireplace where you put the telly?
Your
the
chimney
mantle.
shaft.
Your
thing.
breast. Your
Yeah,
breast.
my chimney shaft again was the less successful sequel to Richard Roundtree in Shaft. Chimney shaft, right on. Where does the broom go when you are cleaning it?
So
Chimney shaft, right on. Yeah.
green. It's sort of sorry, I'm going to let this go, but it's quite a sort of Robin of Sherwood.
It's got a bold statement.
Yes. I've got 2 or 3 green suits, green shirts.
You've got a green suit?
Yeah, yeah. I just love it.
Wow.
I didn't realise it was going to be
Well,
regarded with such horror.
it's not horror.
If you had to wear one colour all the time, what would it be?
Well, for starters, it wouldn't be green.
Okay, we've established that. Please, but it can't be black, can it? Otherwise, you're going to be like one of those people who works in the media who thinks I wear black all the time, and that makes me look a bit mysterious.
And a bit like Edna in The Incredibles, I'd look like. So I've got to be careful of black. Okay? I think you might be able to guess. There is a colour that I favour a lot.
You like pink?
I do.
You couldn't
Pink.
wear pink all the time.
I could.
Could you?
Oh, I could, my friend.
Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. You'd have to have your eyebrows raised so they hovered 3 inches above your head like the Pink Panthers used
And
to.
also at this time in my life, I think it's so eccentric old woman living on the coast.
To be totally
And that's what I
pink,
want to be.
that really would be something.
Don't you think?
I think I'd go brown.
Brown.
Yeah. Just, it's really practical.
Why are you two so earthy?
Yeah, true. We've gone very autumnal. Yeah, me and you should walk in the forest and surprise people.
Woodlands, imps.
Yeah, Sylvanian families.
Yeah.
That's where we
And then
could end up if it all
I'll
goes
turn
wrong.
up in a pink tiara and
Man,
spoil
that'd
it
be
all.
a great. Where are they now? Frank Skinner and Zoe Lyons live in a wood
Woods.
in Sussex.
Off a tree.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've had some outside world contributions from our lovely readers. 386, in what might be the most Frank Skinner communique ever, says it was UFO Frank.
I think I did falter part way through and think it's UFO, isn't it? I'm on the wrong
That's
track.
John from Cambridge.
Thanks for helping me out with that, though, John. I stand corrected.
988, Frank, I'm very confused. Do you mean a polo neck or a turtleneck?
Oh, I'm
well,
confused.
I've never really cleared that up. Has one got a roll over and one just round?
Yeah. A
Okay.
turtleneck is far roomier.
Okay.
Far roomier. There's sometimes even folds with a turtleneck.
Yeah.
So, a turtleneck.
Well, there's folds with a real turtleneck.
Well, as I'm finding out at this stage in the game.
Oh.
The polo neck, very neat.
Tight.
Very tight.
Oh, I see.
Do you see the difference? So what I'm saying is the polo neck is more your lot, the sci-fi people.
Yes.
Saying, Doctor, we need the perimeter. Then you have the turtleneck is
No
more...
one has ever said we need the perimeter.
Well, I don't know what they say. I don't know what they say, the weird hippo thing.
Okay.
Or the turtleneck is more American mom.
Okay. Well, I'm as it was Terence, I'm going to say it was the former of those.
Polo.
Okay.
I'm more polo than turtle. And our turtles don't really have a neck. They have a neck, but not like a scrunchy neck, do they?
Are we
you ever
talking
see-
turtles now? Or
Turtles.
The actual turtles?
The actual
Talking
turtles don't have a scrunchy neck, do
I
they?
don't know. I generally see them from above.
Yeah.
Not the are we
Turtle.
talking... well, you're
But surely a turtleneck jumper would be like a turtle where you could just pull your entire head into the jumper like a
out
turtle.
of the jumper.
And then out of the jumper
Yeah.
again.
And you know those leather knee pads? The whole back of it would be made of that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. That would be a turtleneck jumper.
You couldn't carry off an actual carapace because that would be uncomfortable.
And your arms would go in the top and your legs would go out the bottom of the turd.
Yeah, it's a
Genuine
sort of
turtleneck.
all-in-one
It's an all-in-one
turtle.
jumpsuit.
Well, it wouldn't just be turtle leg. I wear a turtle leg jumper
turtle
that
leg.
incorporates the leg holes.
8984 has got in touch to say brown only and polar necks ? Zoe would be the double of Velma. Yeah, I think I would.
Oh yeah, you need a horn rimmed spectacle.
Yeah.
She liked
And
it.
I'd have got away with it too if it hadn't been for those pesky kids.
What
Yeah.
about what was his name? The guy with the
Shaggy?
Shaggy.
Yeah.
He favoured a V-neck, didn't he?
I think very loose,
almost a surgical
a sloppy.
scrubs.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Freddie.
So
I think
Shaggy's
Freddie might have worn a polo neck sometimes.
Oh, did
You know the honky handsome one,
Oh, yes.
the one who picked a creepy night to go for a drive.
Yeah.
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 Still, I don't think we should go too far down this
No, not the
well-trodden
Scooby.
comedy path.
No.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I used to do Scooby-Doo material, did I? No, maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
We've also heard from the real MG. Frank, when I was pregnant, my tummy was so big that everything I ate spilt down my top. So I invested in slash neck tops. And every day after lunch at work, I'd pop to the loo and turn it round. And then put my jacket back on. Sorted. It was a game changer. So the slash neck.
The slash neck.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the slash neck?
Not
Is
familiar
that
with
the
the
one where
slash
like,
neck.
it looks like it's been cut and you put your head through it? Is it like
Yes,
that
hence
look?
slash neck.
Yeah.
Is it like a food hammock? Do things just gather in your
I
slash?
don't know what that is.
No, but like when you drop food, did she?
Oh.
I think slash neck was my nickname at school.
Oh, God.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a message from Chris, who appears to be a Leicester City fan, from his avatar. Tell Frank the Heroes of Telemark is on iPlayer at the moment. Apologies for any spelling mistakes. There you go. But you can
Okay.
catch it, the Heroes of Telemark.
I might check. I often pursue knitwear-centric films.
Oh, honestly, Frank, it'll change your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Stephen Headley briefly just says, on the bin theme,
Yeah.
you were talking about sort of puns related
Or
to...
stickers on bins or
Yeah.
whatever.
Example, Frank, you got one. Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn.
So Stephen Headley has suggested Harold Rubb Bishop.
Okay, that's for... I thought he was going to say Harold Binter.
But where's the bin
As in
there?
pi-
Rubbish.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's
see.
gone
Sorry,
for
I
it.
didn't
He's-
understand.
Yeah.
And Trashford and Simpson.
I don't know what that means.
They did Solid as a Rock.
Oh, okay.
They're a pop rock.
Solid as a rock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know their work, I just don't know their name.
All right. That's enough on the bins. I want to know what's been happening in the world of the Lions.
The
world.
Lions?
Yeah.
I've been making some rash shopping choices.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the last week, I bought a weighted vest. No.
A weighted vest.
Yes.
Okay. Weighted at the bottom.
No, weighted all over.
You
I know
can
weighted blankets are really in at the moment, aren't they, to make you feel sort of calm and collected. I
Oh,
bought
they
a weighted
really?
Yeah, weighted blanket. They're really heavy. Honestly, you could get trapped under a weighted blanket.
Oh,
you might
no.
have to, I would say if you're using a weighted blanket, take your mobile phone under the blanket with you in case you need to call for help and a St. Bernard with a barrel of something around its neck.
Honestly, that gives me a shudder, the idea of a weighted blanket.
It's the idea that you remember when you were a kid. Certainly when I was a kid. Now I used to stay at my nana's house. They had like those eider-downs.
Yeah.
And my nan didn't have that. She had
blankets.
cigarettes and...
No, we had that. We had
Yeah.
like about 17 things on
At
top
the
of
top
us
of the
in
bed.
Yeah.
So and then you were sort of tucked in. So you
Pre-duvet.
basically just sort of like a sort of human burrito.
Yeah.
and they sort of.
Oh, like the hospital corners. in
Yeah,
the, yes,
exactly.
yeah.
The hospital court.
You
sort of
could
wrapped
sleep.
in it.
You could have slept in a massive tombola canister.
And you wouldn't have moved.
And you wouldn't have fallen out of bed when
You could
it
have been
span.
rotated. You could have been like a rotisserie chicken.
What I-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even that sounds all snog, whereas I tell you what the weighted blanket reminds me of. I grew up watching a great many westerns, and sometimes someone's horse would be shot from under them, and they would fall. trapped under the horse.
The original weighted blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you had to wait for it to decay before you could get off. She said, I don't like being that close to buzzards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, do you know? I hate buzzards.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
And so I haven't bought
Greedy.
a weighted blanket. I bought a weighted vest, which is something you put on when
What's
you're
the
running.
point of a weighted vest?
Because, Frank, I'm training for a run, except I've forgotten to sort of train.
I'm
and-
thinking, do you run over a lot of those things that Marilyn Monroe stood above in the 7-year itch that blew her dress
Yes,
off?
I've got to
the
be
great-
careful with my flapping gear. No.
Yes.
But so my thinking was, and you'll soon find out there's no logic in this. I thought I haven't trained enough. I'll buy something heavy to wear when I'm running, so that when I take it off, I'll feel like a bird.
Yeah, boxers used to run in very heavy boots so that when they got in the ring, they felt,
Yeah.
Is that right?
mobile.
That's my sort of thinking. So
How
I thought,
heavy is
It's
the-
not
is the
that
one-
heavy. It's
No.
really not that heavy. You can get I went for sort of lightweight. So I went for entry-level weighted vest. It's 3.5 kilos. But honestly, after 4 miles, you really feel it.
So
Okay.
hang on a minute. Where are the weights?
They're in the sort of side panel bits.
Oh, I was thinking in the hem, the lower hem. That's what I thought you were like you were. It was like sort of a gravity plus.
Like a Victorian woman's skirts.
You know what? I just thought, so it can't blow or pour anything. I thought you were.
No, it's
Hang
like,
on. So it looks a bit like
A little
a
mini-
police vest.
Yeah.
Oh, I quite like
Couldn't
it.
you have just safety pinned it to your piercings?
Oh, God, Frank.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Zoe, you were saying
Yes.
weighted vest.
I bought a weighted vest. And then, so...
What do
when
you
I go-
team it with? A Bermuda?
What do I team it with? Oh, I've actually just bought some really, I'm going to say, awesome running shorts that are quite
I would
bold.
have thought all you need to do is just put another couple of pound weights in. You don't need to wear anything underneath
No,
at
you
all.
don't just let it all hang down. Honestly, when I take this weighted vest off and start running, I'm going to be like a gazelle. Yeah.
Why are the shorts so great?
Because they're sort of like a grey camouflage.
Grey?
Yeah,
camouflage.
grey camouflage.
Sure.
Grey
Grey
camouflage
and
is
black.
where I hide nowadays.
Yeah. You see, normally I don't want to draw attention to my running because I'm not what you would describe as a natural athlete.
Right.
I run sort of very much like I'm going to say asthmatic pug.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hear me
Oh yeah.
for quite a way off, and flat-footed, like a sort of and sort of penguin sort of gait to it. It's really not attractive. And
If any older people near you need their snow clearing,
yeah,
Yeah.
then
You
me
you can just run up and down
just
their
run
path.
up and down
the
the
grey
path.
shorts are unusual, a sort of statue sheet.
So what I've done, Emily, I used to hide away my running, and now I'm sort of embracing it in my weighted vest and my grey.
Good on you.
I like
Respect.
it.
Be loud and proud.
Yeah, and bright orange sunglasses. I really look quite a spectacle.
Yeah, and on Brighton, no one bats
Nobody
an
cares.
eyelid.
Nobody cares. In fact, I'm not making that much of an effort in Brighton.
No.
So I had a word with myself of purchasing what I think we can describe a weighted vest as an unnecessary item, and I thought I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be more careful. And then this week I bought a kayak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sort of spur of the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Not
it's
for
really-
wearing.
Not for wearing.
No,
No.
because you need to put 2 leg holes in the
You need-
bottom.
or you need 2 of them where there was massive shoes, which
Yeah.
I'm fond of. Quite.
Is that
quite-
like, it's essentially a canoe.
It's
They
essentially a
frighten
canoe.
me. I am not a great swimmer, but B, you look like you're clasped.
Yeah. Well, what I've bought is actually a paddle board with a seat that you can put on it. I bought a paddle board, right?
Well, sort of like an armchair.
Yeah, it's like you can put. Yeah, it's like the sort of equivalent of a sort of sofa on the porch. I bought a paddle board, and because it's very in.
Yes,
I mean,
they're
it was
everywhere.
very-
I love paddleboarding.
I was in the lakes recently,
Paddleboard.
and
Have
there
you
was
done
a lot
it?
of paddle. I haven't done it. I rode.
I did paddleboarding in Florida, and I think it might be the only sport I enjoy doing.
It's quite
Goodness.
relaxing.
Oh, I loved it.
The problem is I have no sense of balance whatsoever, so I'm not naturally drawn. So I thought, well, I've bought the paddleboard, but I can't stand up on it. What am I going to do? So I bought a seat to put up with it.
Well, Frank's got no sense of direction. You two should get together. Can I share this with you? Nigel Price, briefly,
Yeah.
with a nod to Zoe's comment regarding brandy.
Yeah.
St Bernards were sent out looking for lost climbers with barrels of milk around their necks, not brandy.
Oh.
Okay?
The tradition then is incorrect.
Oh. Can I just say, though, if I was trapped in an avalanche and I had been dug out by a St Bernard and there was a barrel and
Yeah.
it turned out to be milk, I'd be bitterly disappointed.
Well, you'd think it was 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I live in Hampstead. If any of the locals were trapped, they'd say, "Well, do you have our oat?" I can't. I'm sorry, I'm lactic intolerant. Zoe, it's always such a joy to have you on the show,
It's
and
lovely to be
indeed
here.
just to see you. Thank you so much for doing this morning. Thank you all for listening. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.